Well, hello there. My name's Linda. I'm an RGN and I currently work as a community nursing sister, and I'm also an American RN. I deeply appreciate how precious life is, and I've been privileged to nurse many people in the last moments of their life. I'm pro-life, a humanitarian, and I believe that every human being should have a right to justice. And I know through organisations such as Amnesty that many people are deprived of this right, which leads me to my work with David. Since 1973, 151 people have been released from death row, and conservative estimates assume 4% of death row inmates are innocent, and this translates to 200 people across America. I've been privileged to meet some incredible anti-death penalty campaigners, including Sister Helen Prejean, who was played by Susan Sarandon in the Oscar-nominated movie Dead Man Walking. This is David, taken about 20 years ago. He's an articulate and intelligent man. He's an artist and a musician, a vegetarian, and he loves animals. He's also deeply religious. He had a history of petty crimes when he was younger and ended up in jail. When he was released from prison, he wanted to make a fresh start, mend his life, mend his marriage, get an education and a profession, which is how he came to work with a wonderful Christian lady called Chloe. She was counselling and supporting ex-offenders when David was introduced to her. They had a wonderful friendship, and Chloe gave him real hope for the future. That is until Chloe was horrifically murdered. She was battered and stabbed to death in her own home. I have her autopsy report and I've seen the crime scene photographs, and it was an absolute bloodbath. David totally understood why he was interrogated, but very shortly after Chloe's murder, he was arrested and charged with first-degree aggravated murder. And this is where the cracks really began to show. David's trial was a travesty. It lasted 3 days, and as his caseworker, I've meticulously studied his files and appeals. He was poorly represented during the initial trial, and his parents only employed decent lawyers after he was convicted. However, the cost of them meant that didn't last long. I'm going to go through some of the indiscretions of David's case, and you can make up your own minds. Firstly, an unqualified pathologist carried out Chloe's post-mortem, but during David's first appeal, the suggested time of death was shown to be inaccurate by 12 hours. Those 12 hours actually changed the prime suspect, as it coincided with a female entering the house, claiming to have had a meal with Chloe. The post-mortem disagreed, showing that Chloe's stomach was empty. Had the revised time of death been presented in the initial trial, a number of key statements and alibis would have gone a long way to validating David's innocence. The problem is, David lost his first appeal and subsequent appeals, meaning the original time of death still stands. There was a small blood stain on David's jean jacket that tested to be O positive. Chloe was O positive, but so was David. And years later, a DNA test proved that it was David's blood, as he said it always was. And finally, a key piece of evidence at the crime scene was a pair of blood-stained gloves, evidence not presented at his trial. A partial DNA profile from the left glove excluded David as a contributor. The female witness claiming to have had a meal with Chloe stated that she'd left a pair of gloves at the property. This is a photo of David now. We've genuinely had so much hope over the years. New evidence is found, new appeals are made, but battling both political and legal systems feels like there's absolutely no hope to be had. So what will happen to David next? He's sat in his cell, awaiting a date for execution, and it could be later this year. This is David's drawing behind me of his cell. He's been there for 25 years. It deeply, deeply saddened me to revisit these appeals, and I hope you understand why. David's post-conviction claim for relief was denied, even though there were so many violations of the American Constitution. The reason that I've given this talk is that I passionately believe that every life matters. And when the Ohio State killing machine takes David's life, he will at least know that there was one person that cared and one person that doesn't want him to die. So what I would say to you is, no matter how difficult or how controversial, always fight for what you believe in, because you could make a difference to somebody's life and death. Thank you.